All right, freaking take three. God dang. What is going on, dudes? I got to talk about something. I got to talk about one of my favorite countries in the world, Japan. Now, last time I already tried recording this video a couple of times, but I got way off track, and that's the little effect of Japan. Japan got so much stuff going on that you might find yourself kind of like going off track. But even right now, you see, I'm going off track. Let me chill out for a second. But I wanted to touch on my dream when it comes to Japan. So let's take you on a little bit of a story. So 2020, right? Pandemic hits, and I want to learn Japanese. Why do I want to learn Japanese? It's because I grew up on Nintendo. As you know, well, actually, as you don't freaking know, sucker, nobody knows anything about me right now, but y'all suckers gonna figure out. But either way, what I'm saying is, I grew up on Nintendo like a lot of others. I have my DS right here, actually. I got my Switch. This is a day one Switch that was actually a surprise because the Switch came out on my mom's birthday and she got it for me. I wasn't expecting to get no Switch. So even just from that alone, you can tell I got a whole lot of good childhood memories that's coming with Nintendo. The same way many other people have. And the same reason why many people look at Japan as a kid and grow up wanting to go there so bad. So it's crazy. I gotta give you this picture. When I was in pre-K, I had a DS. We all had a DS when we were like little kids in the 2000s, and I had my DS and I had Mario 64 DS. I was showing the game to my classmates at show and tell. And when I came home from show and tell, my mom asked, "Hey, what did you bring to show and tell?" And I said, "Hey, I brought my DS and I showed them Super Mario 64. And then she told me the one thing that would change the way that I live my life from that day forward. It was that I could be the one that makes those games. And that brought me all the way up to where I am now, to where that brought me all the way up to where it was in 2020, where I was like, okay, I took a couple of coding classes in school, and I love Nintendo. I always wanted to make games, and I knew I could be doing some development in America, but I thought it would be a lot more marketable, a lot more good of a standout point, something that makes me stand out if I actually spoke the language of Japanese in a Japanese company. So from that point forward, I got to my computer. I went there, downloaded Anki. My brother was already learning Japanese himself, and he found these different YouTubers, Matt versus Japan, and Dogen, and all of them. And we learned about different resources that we can use to learn Japanese, like Anki or Migaku or AJAP program, like these different kinds of methods that we can use to learn Japanese. And we have a whole bunch of programs on our computer to talk about how we learn Japanese. But I'm gonna get into that another time. What I want to talk about now is the way that I use those. I use those to study this flashcard deck. One of the programs that came with, like one of the decks that came with all these well, I gotta explain what Anki is first. Okay, so Anki is this flashcard system. It's a flashcard system that you can use to make flashcards. It kind of sorts all the stuff out on its own. But that's just in a nutshell. What I found, not really found, but what was a part of that whole Japanese learning thing with AJAT and mass immersion approach was that you had this deck that you had to learn kanji. When I was learning kanji, I was seeing a whole bunch of videos about Japan, and it was because I was watching a whole bunch of videos to figure out how I was going to get these flashcards to work, or how I was going to learn Japanese. And I was initially just making all the kanji cards on my own, but there was already a kanji deck that I could use. So once I got to that, this video popped up in my YouTube recommendation feed, and it was called, matter of fact, I got it up right here. it's in Japanese, so I forgot the English title, but it's a video by Rambolic, and it's a Shinjuku walk. It was, hold on, let me see when the video came out. The video came out in 2017, and I was watching it in 2020. At the time, the video didn't really have too many views, so I was like, I'm learning Japanese. I want to learn kanji. There's going to be a whole bunch of signs in the city, isn't there? So I might as well click on this video so I can get a bit of studying in while just enjoying the scenery. So little did I know that would change my freaking life. That one video changed my freaking life. Oh my God, bro. Y'all gotta realize the amount of just fire that came out of my soul from watching that video. So like, I started floating in the way. I just started freaking floating. Bro, there was so much stuff. I was amazed, bro. Because not only was this the first time that I'm really seeing what it's like in the soil of Japan, outside of just little top-down views of like little kind of stuff that you would see on Google if you search Japan. But I'm seeing not only a whole bunch of parts that I never knew existed, but this is also my first time seeing it, what it's like in a city too, because I'm coming from a suburban area, a black suburban neighborhood, which was pretty rare. I'm not gonna lie, it was a nice neighborhood, but I'm coming from this background and I'm seeing a city. I've always wanted to see a city growing up. Think about that. That's like how many years? That's like 14, 15 years that I've always wanted to see a city, and I just never have. And I finally get this opportunity. And once I saw that video, I fell in love, bro. It was all the lights, all the neon lights, all the different kinds of, like the way that people wore their clothes was different. People had such nice fits. People had different, like, it was like the music was freaking bumping in my, not really in my ears, but like it was on a big TV, so the music was kind of hitting me too. And that's the biggest thing about it. It was on a big TV, so the scale really felt real. I was hit by that impact of the scale of everything. I was like, dang, it could really be this huge. And it's like, I look at some of these signs with all these neon lights and kind of like gritty looking areas. They're not really like dangerous looking, but they're a little scratched up here and there. Like there's this drinking street called Golden Guy that I saw, and I was just in love with it because it reminded me so much of just that kind of nostalgic feeling. I've never been to this place before, but it feels so nostalgic, and you just got that, you're like, dang, it feels so nostalgic that I want to come here. Like I want to visit, right? But little did I know, videos like this would just keep rolling in. There would be Asakusa. I'd see Sensoji Temple. I'd see the freaking traditional infrastructure with all the different kinds of lights. I saw the river. It was beautiful, bro. That one building by the river that looks like a freaking beer mug. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But like, bro, it hit me. It hit my soul. I just felt so at home over there. It felt so unreal that a place that I've never been to, the first time that I'm seeing it, it feels like a home. So I went to sleep that night and I was like, dang, this country is beautiful, bro. This country is beautiful. And I come back to it again and again and again. And I'm like, the more I see, the more I feel that warmth in my heart. And even though we were locked up in the house during quarantine in that time, I felt so far outside of the house. Like I felt like I was living outside. I felt like I was really alive despite being locked in. So for 6 months, I was watching these videos of Japan, seeing different stations like Shibuya or Shinjuku, Asakusa, or freaking Akihabara. Bro, Akihabara, the place where all the weebs be at, the place in Steins Gate, bro, like seeing that in real life was like, oh my gosh, bro. I couldn't believe something like this was so real, because I'm coming from a place where you don't have any of this. Like in America, you don't really have too many places that you can just go out of the house and automatically see something that catches your eye at every single turn, twist, and corner. Like, you don't have that kind of infrastructure all the time. But for me, you have that, and it was so freaking, it felt so liberating. It just felt like I could be somewhere. And it felt like a home. It felt like somewhere that I needed to be. So from that point on, I studied so goddamn hard to make sure I was getting the most perfect Japanese of all time. I saw videos from Dogen or from Matt versus Japan or different success stories on their channels. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to be just like them. Bro, the founder of Ajax was a black man himself. And he had perfect Japanese. A black person with perfect Japanese. Could you look at that? And then it comes back to me. Like, now I had to figure out from 2020, 2021, I have this whole picture of Japan, and it's a beauty. Like, I have this picture of Japan, and it's a beauty. And come 2020 run, around those times, I start watching a few more interviews about Japan. I realize that Japan, while it's so beautiful to me, there's still a whole bunch of things wrong with it. And it's like, it hit me like a truck initially. I'm not gonna lie. Like stuff like colorism, kind of like the way people have different views against black people or white people, or the way that people have different kind of societal norms to like fit in and all of that, different societal pressures, declining birth rate, the economy, like all of that kind of hit me after I was done feeling like a child again. Because to perfectly articulate how those 6 months felt, it felt like I was 7 years old again. It felt like I could be a kid and just experience what it was like finding a new world all over again. And everything was beautiful. Everything was fun. Everything was what I would have wanted growing up. And all the stuff that I imagined could have been real really was. And that's what about Japan that really took my heart. Like its persona, second, like, bro, Joker's right there. But for real, bro, it touched my heart. And fast forward to now, so much has changed. I've been through a whole bunch of different experiences over here in the States. I've grown as a person. I can see things in different ways. I learned how to deal with different issues, and the thing that stayed consistent with that is my love for Japan. Throughout my whole life, the thing that stayed so consistent was that love. And I don't plan on stopping that love anytime soon. I'm gonna go hard right now. I'm gonna go hard on learning Japanese. I'm gonna go hard on actually trying to get out there. I got plans, bro. I got plans to get out there, so I'm not gonna say everything right now. I'm gonna get that ball rolling in a different kind of video. But right now, I just need to articulate that love. I needed people to see that kind of love that I had. Because there ain't nothing else that I ever felt that was like that. It was a miracle. It felt like all that stuff from the 80s, all that reputation and legacy from the 80s hit me all at the same time. 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, all hit me. Like, speaking of 2010s, the Japan vlogs, Dashi's Japan vlogs, and then you got other different vlogs like Kai, Phantom, Speed. They made beautiful videos in Japan. They flipped that country upside down, and I felt like every single part of that whole city was my home. Every single part. So I want to be in Japan, bro. I want to live there. I want to get myself out there in some kind of way, bro. And this is only the start. This is just the start. I've already spent 4 years learning this language, and I don't plan on slowing down anytime soon. I plan on getting myself to that perfect level so I can have that good connection, I can build myself my own community, you know what I'm saying? I don't have to necessarily build a whole community on the internet. I just want a community in general. I want people around me to just love Japan as much as I do. I want to be around a group of people that love Nintendo, Japan, Black culture, just culture in general. I want all those kind of people around me so we can all vibe out and feed each other's energy. And right now, for me, the biggest thing and the most influence in feeding my energy is having that connection with people and having a place where all that connection, all that love just comes out with such passion. What I want is that city life. I want to get out there in Tokyo and get my feet wet. I want to get out there and meet people. And I feel that change coming. I feel that change coming even right now. Even where I'm staying right now, I feel that change coming. And I'm going to do what it takes to get there. So whatever it takes, whatever it is, I got that love for Japan, and ain't nothing stopping me from getting myself all the way up out of there. Now, with all that being said, I'm coming, bro. I'm coming home, bro. Because that's my second home. And y'all suckers gonna believe it when y'all see it now. Bro, I don't even know how to end this second. But either way, Suki, I love Japan, bro. I love Japan. And y'all gonna see it. Now, with all that said, take care of yourself. Have yourself a good one.